Today's lesson is lump sum notes. We're going to learn the concepts, we're going to record the notes, we're going to answer some questions about them. Lump sum notes have an amount at the beginning, which is the borrowed funds, and the amount at the end, which is the repayment amount, but no payments in between. The only thing that happens is that interest grows. This looks a lot like problems we've already solved. You know the borrowed funds now, present value, repayment amount, future value, and nothing in between but interest. So if you know the amount you're going to get now, you can calculate the repayment amount. I don't have to tell you that, as long as you know the number of periods and the rate per period. How do you do that? You can go to the future value of a dollar table and calculate the future value. What if I told you the repayment amount, but didn't tell you the loan amount or the current proceeds? Could you solve for that? Sure you could. What table would you go to? Present value of a dollar table. That's right. And you could solve for the present value of that note. Here's a note. I'm going to repay $4,000 3 years from now. That's the future value. That's what you're going to repay. That includes interest. So what are you going to get if you sign a note like that? You're going to get the present value. What will that be? That's right. You go to the present value of a dollar table and you look up the factor, and it'll be $3,175.20. That's exactly right. So you're going to get the $3,175 and have to repay the $4,000, and the difference being the interest over the life of the note. What if you want a $2,000 loan and you're wondering, what's the repayment amount? Can you calculate that? What do you need? Right, future value of a dollar table. Go and get your factor and solve for the repayment amount, $2,519.40. That's exactly right. So the difference between the $2,000 loan and the repayment amount is the interest. Oh, look what we have here. We know the present value, we know the future value. What's missing? The interest rate. Remember how we solved for that? We actually calculated the factor and then we went hunting in the table till we found the interest rate. So look across the 4 periods in your table and see if you can find the interest rate close to 2. 19%. Very good. Well, no wonder they didn't want to put that on the face of the note. That's outrageous. All right, let's record these lump sum notes. On the face of the note is the repayment amount. That is the amount we're going to put in the note payable account. But that's not the cash that you're going to get. You're going to get the present value for cash. So when you record it, you record the cash that you get and you record the repayment amount of note payable, and the difference goes into an account called discount on notes payable. This is the interest that's going to be earned over the life of the note. It's not earned on day one. We will reduce it every month as interest is earned, but it starts out the full amount, the full difference between those two numbers. This is what it looks like on the balance sheet on the day that you sign the note. You only owe $2,000 because if you repay it on the same day you borrow it, no interest is accumulated. Okay, here's the first month of interest. What you borrowed, $2,000 times 8% divided by 12. So now some of that unearned interest that was in the discount account has been earned. So you reduce the discount account. That will increase your net liability. See how that works? The note payable account never changes, but the discount amount changes to show the unearned interest being reduced as it's earned. On the second month, you need the net liability times the interest rate, not the original loan, because now you owe a little bit more. Take the second month's of interest earned out of the discount, it's not unearned anymore, and update your net liability. If I put this note in Excel, every month I can calculate the new interest expense based on the net liability at the end of the prior month. The net liability keeps going up. You see that? That makes the interest expense get a little bit bigger each month because the interest is rolling into the principal and increasing the liability. You're not making any payments, so none of that interest is getting paid. It's all calculated in the repayment amount, which is at the end of the note. When you finally get to repayment date, that discount on the note is 0 because there is no more unearned interest. And then you pay it off. All right, let's try one. I'm going to give you the repayment amount on this note. Freeze this frame calculate the proceeds or the present value, and do the rest. Good. Did you get 23,000? Did you go to the present value of dollar table and figure that out? Okay, now record your note. That's right, your cash of 23,000, your repayment amount of 30,000, the difference being the interest to be earned over the life of the note going in the discount account. Here's your interest expense, month 1 based on the 23,000, month 2 based on the 23,000 plus the month of interest that was already earned. At the end of the second month, the discount will have gone down by 2 months worth of interest, making the net liability grow a bit. All right, try another one. Here I'm going to give you the proceeds and you have the repayment amount in the note. So you don't know the interest rate. So freeze this frame, solve for the interest rate, and record the rest. That's right, you got to solve for the factor, go look in the future value tables for under 6 periods, and you find 11%. Now you can calculate the interest. Record your note. There's your unearned interest over the life of the note in your discount account. There's your net liability, which starts out as proceeds and then grows. Here's your interest expense. There's 2 months worth. And your discount on notes now has been reduced by 2 months worth of interest. And then your repayment amount, of course, is the full face amount of the note. Why does interest expense increase each month on a lump sum note? Could you answer that question? Because you're not paying that interest, so it builds. So you owe principal plus interest over time. You're just going to make one payment at the very end, the repayment amount. You can go back and look at that Excel spreadsheet and see the pattern over many months. How are these lump sum liabilities different from the other 2 notes we're going to study in your chapter? Here's a little chart that just highlights some major differences. The lump sum notes, there's no payments between the original loan and the repayment. And you have this discount on notes payable account. The face amount is the maturity amount, and you need this discount on notes payable to reduce the note payable down to the net liability for the unearned interest. There are 2 more digital tutors for the other 2 notes.